Ark Survival Evolved, The Great Beyond. Prologue. Torn away into the unknown. Ponyville, Equestria, Day 1. As Celestia's sun rose over Equestria, Twilight Sparkle, Princess of Magic, slipped out of bed and headed downstairs to an idyllic day. Spike, her dragon assistant, was already making breakfast. "Morning, Spike," Twilight greeted him. "What's new?" Nothing much, but something weird is going on," Spike said. You know that letter about the magical flare last night from Celestia?" "Yeah?" "I tried to send her a reply as usual, and nothing worked," Spike said. "Wait, what do you mean nothing worked?" Twilight asked. "You should be able to send letters by your breath." That's a thing!" Spike exclaimed. "When I burned the letter to send it, it just burned up like a piece of wood. I tried again, and the same result happened." Twilight was quite astounded at this. "Spike, is something wrong?" she asked. "Are you sick?" "Nope," Spike replied. "I feel fine." "Well, where's the letter now?" Twilight asked. As Spike handed her the scroll, Twilight tried to summon her magic and send it herself. Except, the typical surge of alicorn magic didn't occur when Twilight summoned it. Spike?" Twilight asked. "My magic isn't working. I can't send it." "Wait, what?" Spike dropped his jaw. "Wait, what's happening?" Then there was a knock on the door. As Twilight went to answer it, she was greeted by Rarity and her friends, and all the element bearers. All of them were in a state of great distress. "Twilight, I can't use my magic!" Rarity cried. "I was lifting some scissors and it stopped working! And I couldn't fly out of Ponyville to head to Cloudsdale," Rainbow ratted. "I know about the magic, but why can't you fly, Rainbow?" Twilight asked. "I was about to reach the edge of the Everfree Forest when something like an invisible wall stopped me cold," Rainbow cried. "And Applejack can vouch." "I can indeed," Applejack said. "She stopped like she was dead in the water." That made Twilight freeze. No, something isn't right," she said. "First we couldn't send a letter to Celestia, then our magic get cuts off, and now we can't leave Ponyville due to an invisible shield? Wait, what in the name of Tartarus is going on?" We got bigger problems," Pinky said, pointing to the sky. A large white disk had appeared in the air about Ponyville, and from what they could tell, it was generating the shield surrounding Ponyville. "Get Everpony to Town Hall," Twilight said. "I'll fly up there and get to the bottom of this." As the element bearers scurried off, Twilight took to the air. She approached the disk, and she sped forward with all of her strength, only to be stopped just by a short disk by the same barrier that Rainbow had encountered. As she rubbed her sore hoof, she noticed that the barrier was now visible from her altitude. And as she scanned the area, she noticed the entirety of Ponyville, plus Sweet Apple Acres, and part of their orchard was completely encased. And as Twilight grimaced, there was a shudder of wind and a crack of sound. What was that?" she asked, in the air around her. Then she saw the fissures forming in the ground beneath the shield, and then rising updraft of wind. The only thing Twilight could do was scream as the encased town was lifted into the air like a leaf on the breeze. As Twilight landed back in her castle and took hold of Spike, a massive vortex appeared to receive them. The last thing Twilight saw was the portal receiving them before she completely blacked out. The Ark, Southern Plains near Settlement Alpha, beachfront. As the beach roared with the ocean waves, a lone figure, astride a massive direwolf, dismounted on the sand. Cradling an assault rifle and wearing modified riot gear, he strode into the surf with his mount not far behind. "Derek, you got anything?" asked a voiceover in a small communication device, mounted on his chestplate. "Yeah, I think there's a storm brewing on the southern beach," Derek said. "I heard thunder. Checking it out now." "Roger," the voice replied. "I think you might be right, though. My Argentavis is feeling the wind up on my end." "Alright, then stay safe, Kyrie." Derek out. As Derek put up his comms device away, the direwolf sniffed once and barked. "Granite? What is it?" Derek asked. The wolf motioned to the peninsula on Derek's left, which was crowded with trees. "There, come." Derek clicked as the wolf set out behind him, and once they cleared the trees on the top of the dunes, Derek scanned the sea area and promptly dropped his jaw. Falling from the sky into the southern sea was a landmass of the size of Settlement Alpha, and Derek watched in shock and awe as the land toppled into the sea, sending waves and fish everywhere. Even better was the fact that it was close enough that it formed a small land bridge to Derek's position. But the best part? Derek could see wood and thatched buildings along with a blue crystalline structure present on the new island. Holy shit, Derek said out loud, fumbling for his comms device. Scout team, get to my location ASAP. We got a big problem. What is it? Emma asked. Raiders? I've just seen a large landmass fall from the sky into the ocean. I kid you not, Derek said. And it looks inhabited. I'm seeing buildings on it, too. Fuck me, Kyrie added. Alright, on my way. So am I, said Carolina, the final member of Derek's team. If there are any survivors on that landmass, we need to get them out before night falls, Derek said. Kyrie, can you do a flyover? You got it. As the familiar shape of Kyrie's Argentavis, a massive bird of prey known for its sheer stamina, flew overhead, Derek slapped a fresh magazine of ammo into his rifle. Alright, come on, Granite, he said, mounting his direwolf. Time to meet the new neighbors. As the wolf and its rider headed towards the island, Derek furrowed his brow and cracked the reins. Spike, are you okay? Twilight asked as she removed herself from under her bed. Yep, Spike said from behind her. What just happened? The whole town was lifted, and I think we were just set down? Twilight said, forcing the door open, which bent like a potato chip. And since I can hear waves, we must be near a beach, which means land. That's good, Spike said. It'll just be like Marison Crusoe. I don't think so, Twilight said. Here, take a look. In the view of a shattered window was an indescribably massive landmass, with a spire, or obelisk, in the middle made of glittering white metal. Both of them could see biomes of all kinds scattered around, and even a volcano in the distance. Where are we? Spike asked. I don't know, Twilight replied. Let's go find the girls. As they headed into what remained of Ponyville, they found the entire town was just a complete mess. Buildings were toppled, broken glass was everywhere, and even water from plumbing pipes turned the ground to mud. As they entered Town Hall, they were relieved to see the populace was okay, for the most part. Oh, good to see you, Twilight, Fluttershy said. We've got some problems. Yeah, the town is a wreck, Twilight said. What else? Some of us didn't make it out unscathed. Applejack motioned to the ponies on the stage, all of which were unmoving. Wait, who died? Twilight asked with a bated breath. Mayor, and about 3 others, Rainbow said. Twilight, I hate to say it, but you're in charge now. Right. Is anyone else hurt? Granny Smith's got a busted leg, but it's sprained from what Nurse Redheart said, Pinky said. Every pony else is alright. Then we don't have time to waste, Twilight said. Let's start heading out and gathering what supplies we can find that are still intact. Then we'll go to find out whoever else inhabits this land. As the ponies nodded as one, they stepped outside, only to stop at the sight of 8 strange creatures combing through the ruins of Ponyville. 4 of them were what Twilight recognized as humans, wearing armor and furs, though the animals that they were with them were certainly foreign. One was a lupine wolf, only as big as an equestrian timber wolf and colored grayish-white. Next was a massive bird of prey with large talons. Then there was a lizard-like creature on 2 legs with sharp claws and visible teeth. And finally, there was an ursine animal, bigger than the wolf. They were all quietly rested near the humans as the ponies approached, and the wolf began to growl. Granite, what's the... One human wearing a scarf said as he turned around and promptly froze at the sight of the equestrians. And the other humans drew a compound bow and strange metal objects that Twilight assumed were also weapons. And as they approached, the leader pulled down a fur hood. It had a worn, rugged, and scarred face, with a black crew cut and stubble beard. As it raised an object of its own, Twilight blanched. I don't know who you are, or where you are from, it said in Equish, but you'd better start explaining, and fast, or we will see you as a threat. Ease up, Applejack said, though she was just as scared as every pony else. We're just friends. You don't need to harm us. Really? One of them said. Why should I believe you? You're not from the Ark, and that's perfectly clear. What's the Ark? Twilight asked, and does it have to do with where we are? You see that landmass? The leader asked. That's the Ark, our home. So I'm going to ask you again. Start explaining. Explain what? Rainbow asked. Who you are, where you're from, and if you come in peace, he said. Make it quick. Okay, I'm Princess Twilight Sparkle. We're from Equestria, and we don't know how we got here, Twilight asked. We got encased in some sort of invisible wall, then our town got lifted into the air, and, well, now we're here. The humans looked at each other. One question, the leader said. Show me your right hoof. What? Show me your right hoof, now. Twilight lifted her hoof, and the human grasped it, inspecting it. Twilight could see some kind of green gem or crystal was on his own right wrist. Okay, fine, I believe you, he said. But right now, we don't have time to explain where we are. Just know that you're all coming with us. Why is that? Pinky asked. Pony feels safe as can be. Yeah, that won't be the case for long, another one of the humans said. The Ark's populated by creatures of all sorts that could just eat half of your kind as a light snack. They like to come out when night falls, and seeing you as you don't have any defenses or a way of defending yourselves, it's just come with us and live, or get eaten alive. Your choice. Twilight went pale. Okay, she said. Where are we going? Settlement Alpha, the leader said. It's on the Ark's mainland, about 2 miles from here. It'll take us about 2 hours to get there, so gather what supplies you can right now. Once you're all set, follow us. As the human's tone suggested no room for objection, the ponies quickly nodded and set to work. It was about midday when 3 carts loaded of supplies were sitting at the entrance of what was left of Ponyville. The humans told them their names were Derek, Kyrie, Emma, and Carolina, and they were all the scout team for their settlement. Simply put, the humans told the new arrivals that they went out every day searching for materials, food, and resources, any of them they could retrieve later at their leisure for use at the settlement. And once the wounded were loaded onto the carts and everything was tied down, the equestrians began to follow the human survivors toward the mainland, towards an uncertain fate.